Alright. Hello, my little humans. This is Mr. Capote here, and I just wanted to show you guys a little something. Uh, we all know that Funimation and Toei Animation cannot release a proper version of Dragon Ball Z. They say the film's too integrated and they don't have the technology. Well, I'm going to show you guys that if you have the right forms of media, you can actually do it yourself. And Funimation, Toei, take some notes. You're gonna love them. So, first things first, we are going to need the program here called CapCut. Now, CapCut current version actually requires you to have a subscription to it in order to not have the what do you call it, watermarks on it. So it's like $70 a year, and personally, I think that's BS. I'd agree, but that's me. Uh, Older versions did not have that ability, so if you could actually find an older version and go to settings to prevent automatic updates, I suggest doing it. It'll save you sometimes. That's what I've done. That's what I'm going to continue to do because, well, I like to edit my videos, and I really don't need everything they show in their premium, and neither do you. Funimation. Now, go ahead and pause that. Now, what I'm going to show you is two back to back. First, we're going to drag down the original file here. This is the Japanese opening from their high definition version. Alright. Right here, you could already tell, take a look at the blues. You could tell there is kind of like this filming over it. It's kind of got this, how do I put it? Kind of like this tint, if you will. And I get it. It's from 1987-ish, 89, close to that levels, back whenever press began. Now, the settings I'm going to say works for every single episode, I'm pretty sure. Uh, First, we're going to do a little comparison. What we have here in the center, this here, right here, let's go ahead and go to full. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Alright. On the outer rims, you can see the original. On this is the yellow bricks. Not yellow, orange bricks. I apologize. Colorblind. Ish. Uh, these versions are one and the same. They're practically similar in how they began. But you could already tell there's color differences. The red here is more orangey than anything, and you could already tell the differences. You can see that the original, this has more dark colors than the original right here. And is right here on the Goku's hair is a lot different. But hold on, give me a second. We're going to go here to an option called blend. This will come in handy later. We're going to go ahead and go back, and then we're going to go back to full screen. All right, as you can tell, some details and coloring is different. A bunch of everything. So, you're probably wondering how. How are we going to fix this to where it does not become this? Well, let me go ahead and delete that. What we're going to do here is simply take the original, going to Control C, make sure we're back at the beginning, Control V. Alright. You're like, but why? Why are there two of them? Alright. So, I'm just going to stay right here on the 4-star Dragon Ball. Which, by the way, I want to show you guys that. Take a look. There is a tonal difference in how they look. You can definitely tell. And you probably, when you watch the show, there's a lot more. To be quite honest, the Funimation one looks like somebody took a dirty rag and just decided to smear all over it. That's their noise reduction and everything. So, what we're going to do first and foremost is we're going to take this second one and we're going to go here to the audio. Because we don't need double the audio, we don't need double the fun or anything like that. We reduce the audio for the second one down to 0. And if we listen, I'm not 100% sold on that audio. I'm going to go to the other one. And I found out that 5 decimal points higher gives the perfect amount of, gives the perfect audio for sound. It sounds perfect to me. That's me. Honestly, I think a lot of media today has too low of sound decimal points. 5 additional decimal points is fine. But if you're dealing with the Funimation version, you want 10 decimal points higher. That's just how it turns out. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, let me go ahead and find a good place for us to see color differences. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we're going to take this second one. And we do need a second layer. We're going to go 50% occupancy. Now what occupancy does is basically makes it transparent. It's basically transparency. If you turn it down to 0, it would normally be black in the background and you would end up with this much. So what we're doing is double layering. We're using the original version along with this. Now, I've already done all the work to find out what the adjustments we need here. And we do go over here from video, audio, speed, animation, tracking to here, adjustments. Now what we're going to do, and I've already have this written down, so we're just going to do it. We're going to go negative 25 up onto temperature, followed by negative 25 again on tint. Now if you haven't noticed, there has been some changes. Whenever we go up onto, let's go ahead and add the tint, we get a little bit more blues in there. The temperature, I mean, add some tint. We're going to go 10% on plus 10 up onto saturation. Look at that orange, that's coming good. Exposure, we want to go negative 10. That gives us a little darkness. And contrast positive 10. You're like, why do that? Yeah, I have my reasons. Alright, highlights. We want to go 50 plus, just to bring them all the way up. And if we want negative 50, if I remember correctly, on shadows. We want a negative 20 on blacks. Positive 20 on brilliance. Sharpness, we want to go 100%. Clarity to about 50%. Alright. Let me double check my paperwork. Right, I have. Give me a second. Paperwork. Alright, so far. As we can tell, the orange is a lot more brilliant. Alright, so if we did this 100%, you can see how dark it is. You go back to the original, see how light that is. Oh. And when we combine them together, we get a perfect blend, in my opinion. Get a good amount of colorization. There's our original Dragon Ball. It's a lot darker, I'll admit that. From that. So Critical Z, I think I may have made a mistake in my adjustments. Highlight shadows. I think was shadows -20. I think I made a mistake on my shadows. Give me a second. What happened? Oh, I did make a mistake. Shadows should have been +50 as well. That's why it looked darker. Right. So now, all right. Take a look at that brilliance. Now, here we go. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison. So you still have that muddy water look, but you have the brilliance of blue here. Alright, this is the original Dragon Ball. It's the orange break in the center. Look at the colorization here. And for those of you who thought it was a complete crop out, if you actually take a look at this, it is actually not. This Dragon Ball Z is a 16:9, probably original cell animation without all the detail before they actually went through final production. That's probably what they used for the bricks, but honestly, it's not worth it. Oh, alright, I'm overlaying an audio. You could, if you could get your mouse to go like this and just reduce audio. Alright, this is where I love pointing this out. Okay. Take a look at... I admit, Goku's face looks better, but up here you can see the original tone, flesh tone. But the original Gi tone right here is a lot better. The orange is better than this bright orange and blue. It really doesn't matter. Here, let's go ahead and go to videos. This is the original. This is that. Honestly, actually going through back and forth, you could actually probably see a lot more, a little bit better. That even though this looks nice up onto a little bit, whiter skin tone, this feels more natural. We could definitely do a comparison difference. How it looks in original, how it would look with that, and the 50% overlay. It looks better. Now it doesn't look smooth up onto the, I can guarantee this much. You can definitely see where digital artifacting will happen with the conversion to digital. This is supposed to be 1080p, but this technology will allow the proper color animation for it. It does look darker, I will admit. But personally, it looks better. Now, if you want to go through and do some adjustments to it, let's see if we can. I'm not messing with the tint artists. You could just reduce the exposure down to 0 and take a look at that. Contrast. Exposure and contrast down to 0. Yeah, that could always work. Another thing I like to look at is somewhere along here is Piccolo. the Eternal Dragon is another thing I like to compare it to. Let's see. Contrast to 10. Nope, we don't need that much. Alright. Greens is where I actually love comparing. If you look, the Eternal Dragon and all the greens are a lot darker on the original, on the orange brick model. So, yeah. And you, with the orange bricks, you actually do, you have lost a lot of details whenever they did that. There is a lot more scales and details that you can definitely see up onto Shenron that you cannot see here. I'm using Hedgehog as a good example of what can be. I'm going to reverse a bit. Hiya, Boma. Alright, that's right. Give it a second. I'm going to move. Okay. Cool. Piccolo's face is one thing that I like. Piccolo and Kami were the only two I really like to use. Take a look here in the, let's go back up to the big scale. If you look here at the bottom, you could definitely see Piccolo's skin tone is a lot better than this skin tone here. It definitely shows, and the reason why I have actually chosen the colors I do, it shows whiter is better, but honestly, you lose details. You could definitely see a lot more details in that, and this is just my personal version of it. You could definitely tell there's a lot more. By overlaying the original film and adjusting the original film with new coloring, you definitely can change it. Now, here comes a bigger question. Can you do it with the orange bricks? I highly doubt it. Alright. I'm going to go back to 16:9 ratio right here. Let's go ahead and pull you here. Control C. V. I'm going to reduce the audio down to 0 on this one. Listen to that audio. I'm going to show you what 10%. Oh yeah. I should have warned you guys about that, but yeah. 10 points boost. And here's a, just so you know, I'm not kidding. There's a difference between. Yeah, I personally prefer the 10-point boost. It makes it sound a lot more epic to me. But here we go. Let's see if got a Piccolo's face. I'm gonna go to video. I'm going to go ahead and reduce it down to 50% occupancy because we're just overlaying. Let's see if these same movements can actually work. I got a 25. I got 25. 10. So far I don't see anything different. Exposure. -10. 10 here. 5 on the highlights. 5 on the shadow. Ooh, we're actually getting better on the color. -20 on the blacks. We don't need any of the blacks. 100% on the sharpness and 50%. Now, something I did not point out with the 4x3 is they do have particles here, which can give that fuzzy green look. And if I had to choose an amount, 10% seems to be my go-to particle choice. Because anything more just looks bad. That's my particle choice is 10%. Alright, let's do a comparison. Here's the full, this is at 100% occupancy. This is all the colors done. The original and the overlay. Let's check the difference between them. Yeah. There is a slightly better look. Even by using that same formula. Alright. Let's go ahead to view. You still don't get the reds that you need. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah. But it actually does look better. Using the same formula. It does have somewhat better look. Now, whether or not it looks better in a clip or something else. But, yeah, take a look. The geese are even better. Give me a second. Let me just copy that. Let's see if I can. All right. Boy, that's just freaking weird. Hold on. Let's see what happened. All right. The Funimation and Japanese got mixed up. That's the reason why. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Yeah. Wow. Take a look at that. That just basically layered just right. But yeah. Let's make sure all the adjustments are still there. Right. So, yeah, it is possible to make a superior product. I actually kind of prefer the blacks to be a little bit muted instead of being where they need to be. Take a look at the original version and the oversaturated version in color. And go for this. It's not this. It's not the back quality, but it is a better quality. Let's see. You can't change ratios, so it's 4x3s, 16:9s, 4x3. Original. Have a custom ratio, which you could always do here, and frame rates. You could go up to 60 frames per second. You could do all of that if you need to. But right here, This personally happens to be my favorite colorization because you could take the original versions and overlay it with the English audio if you ever needed to, or keep the Japanese opening as is. I think the reds, the colors, the browns, everything, the greens, everything looks perfectly fine to me in this model. And there is some artifacting here, and not artifacting, some noise in the background. People don't care about the digital noise anymore. Unless you want to go through and actually just redo everything. Like I said, 10% right there. 10% particles is my deal. So, Funimation, if you want to your hands on the original Japanese version that's considered a 1080p and you need to use CapCut, I suggest doing it. Just overlay your audio to make sure everything works out fine. Um, Make sure that every episode has the exact audio lip flap that you needed, because you may have to go back and fix anything if, because your 16:9 cut off somebody's lips when they were moving. Or perhaps you need to do some editing at that point. Because I'm pretty sure that's happened. And the reason I chose this version is because I went through a lot to for this globe right here. In addition, there was a lot of red that was in the background that just didn't look right uh, with some of the original animation. I don't need animation here. I need adjustments. There we go. Some of them. I found 10% is perfect. Plus 10 is perfect. Anything higher just makes it, or lower just makes it that's too bright. 10 was perfect for that, to make it bright enough. Which, by the way, he got rid of that thing, didn't he? Just left it wherever it was. Wait, in timer, does that mean you left it in the demon world? So the power pole is just gone. By the way, I think I have my theories up onto I think they used the demon world. Yeah. So anyway, after that you could just export it to wherever you needed it. Need the just go here to export when you're ready to save, and save your files. Now, I'm not going to lie, these files are probably going to be big, so if you have an external hard drive approximately maybe about a terabyte big just to hold just the Dragon Ball Z series, I suggest doing it. But yeah, that's my opinion about to actually getting this beautiful, beautiful looking Dragon Ball Z colorization that I believe every fan would love. The blues are beautiful. They're dark. They're great. You don't have that waxy film look over it. It's all kind of brilliant. Like I said, you also want to go up about, in the Japanese audio, you definitely want to go up about 5 decimal points in every episode. Remember, you have to reduce the copy down to 0. But 5 decimal points is perfect, in my opinion. So, yeah, if you can actually do that, that would be great. Um, Funimation, for your English audio version, you definitely need to go up by 10 decimal points because I am so sick and tired of watching movies, watching all these things, and not being able to hear anything. Anyway, that's the project for everybody. So, Funimation, I hope you learned something. The same thing goes for Toei. I hope you guys learned something onto a good program that you can use to fix your Dragon Ball Z. Get something out there that the fans will love. You don't have to do the artificial particles. You don't have to put those in there. We watch too many crisp anime nowadays to care about that much. If you could get the video quality to look amazing, this is exactly what we want. That's everything we want. So, don't know how well you can actually do that. Um, it would be amazing to actually learn if you can or cannot. Quick question: did this thing freeze on me? Oh well, I'll find out. So that'll be everything. Thank you guys for showing up, checking out in all this information. Uh, I hope to see you guys next time. Mr. No Pony is out for today. Bye.